Welcome to a moment of meditation with Jack Handy. No, not Jack Handy. Hello. This is Kate Ellis, owner of the Healing Quest in Scottsdale, Arizona. Did you know that anger is a choice? I learned this a very long time ago, and I have a temperament to me. It runs in my family. Part of it, I'm sure, is behavioral. Part of it is genetic. But anger is definitely a choice, and sometimes when I'm under stress, I have to exercise that choice. For example, not too long ago, I woke up in the morning, and the one thing on my mind was a cup of coffee. So I ambled down the stairs half asleep and began to make a pot of coffee, actually a cup of coffee. I have one of those Keurig machines, and it has one of those little filters that you can fill with your own coffee as preferred to a K-cup. So I'm putting in the grounds into my little filter cup. And at this particular time, for 2 weeks, we were under a gnat invasion. There were gnats everywhere, and we finally found the source of where they were coming from, but there were still a few dozen that were around. And so I was intended on helping them transition to another life form. So killing gnats was on the mind. As I'm filling the K-cup, the filter cup, a gnat had been flying in and around my finger at that time, and I finally seen it get to an opportune point, and I went whack! And when I went whack, of course, in my hand was the filter full of grounds. Well, I stood there half asleep again, and I thought to myself, and there was a flash, there was this moment that occurred, and I said to myself, am I going to be angry about this, or am I just going to make my cup of coffee? We all have that split moment of decision, I guarantee you. I do all the time. At this particular time, I chose to just make my cup of coffee, and in that fraction of a second, there's so much thought and content that can go on. I knew that if I decided to lose my temper over something silly, that it would affect me for a good portion of my day. Now, the experience was not pleasant. So I had grounds all over the counter. It had spilled down to the floor. There was grounds in between my bare feet toes. There was an outline of grounds around my foot. As I lifted it, there was my foot in the grounds. And I stood there and I says, you know what? I'm just going to make my cup of coffee, and I did, and I ambled back upstairs, and I just chuckled to myself. So, be mindful. Anger is a choice. You can control your anger. Do you really want to get angry about whatever is vexing you at the time? Is anger going to solve the problem? Anger is one of those emotions that allow us to make changes. And if what you're becoming angry or upset or frustrated about, if that frustration is not going to change the situation one iota, there is no point in becoming angry. Such as when you're driving down the road and you believe that everybody else is an idiot driver. If you consider that all of us are doing the best we can in any given moment, you and the other drivers on the road, if you accept that particular premise, then you can relax a little bit. The one thing that you can control when you're on the road is being a defensive driver, being aware of what other people are doing. The second thing that you can be aware of when you're driving on the road, or what you can control of, when you're on the road, is you can change the radio station. You can listen to NPR. You can put on your favorite jazz station or blues station, or maybe you have a CD or a book on tape that you'd like to listen to while you're negotiating traffic. There are people who are going to cut you off. There are people who are going to make mistakes. There are people who are going to be distracted while they're getting ready to make a left-hand turn and not turn soon enough to allow you to do so. Is that 3 minutes truly going to make a difference in your life? Is it going to change your life irrevocably? Or does it mean that you're just slightly delayed for another 3 minutes? Anger is a choice. Become aware of that fraction of a second when you have the decision to make. Shall I become enraged about this, or simply go about my business and enjoy this wonderful story that I'm listening to on NPR? I thank you very much for your time and this moment of meditation and thought. My name is Kate Ellis. I'm the owner of The Healing Quest in Scottsdale, Arizona. My website is thehealingquest.com, or you can contact me at kellis19@hotmail.com if I may help you with anything. My practice specializes in anxiety, panic disorders, anger management, pain management, and a whole slew of things, but especially in helping you with your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and your sense of self-worth. I look forward to speaking to you. Take care.